Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the happy rainbow. I think it's super adorable. I really love how this turned out. Just growing up design, one loom, substantial, squishy. Got the face on there. I am going to use larger beads this time in the tutorial and see what that does for making it a little bit different, but otherwise I think it looks pretty darn adorable. So, this is the one I showed in my sick video when I wasn't feeling so well, so you can kind of see the difference. These are all basically jelly bands. The red, green, blue, and purple are on rainbowloom.com, and then the orange and the yellow were from Michael's. They are still Rainbow Loom bands, but they were sold only at Michael's stores, but they do have jelly, orange, and yellow too, but these are just a little bit brighter. These are all opaque bands. Just the red, neon orange, yellow, neon green, ocean blue, and the purple. So, we shall get started. And like I said, it's all on one loom. Oh wait, have all my bands up here ready to go, so I find that laying them out kind of in this way is best because this pattern is almost entirely transition bands. Which is, of course, a little more time consuming, so this will be a long tutorial. I apologize for that, but from the feedback I got from you guys on my Instagram, it seems most of you want me to put the whole thing in the video, and then you can edit, or then you can skip around and just watch what you need to. Band-wise, this is pretty band heavy, but the only kind of consolation is that the totals for the band colors are not like a super amount. It's just that in total this guy uses about 698 bands, and then you have however you do the face, be 2 cheek bands, there's 2 bands for the mouth, and then if you're going to do the eyes, either 1 or 2 wrapped bands for those, or the beads. These are the 7mm pony beads. I'm going to use 9mm ones this time, just they're a little bit bigger. Let's see how that turns out. For colors, it's 154 red, 144 yellow, or 144 orange, 128 yellow, 112 green, 96 blue, and 64 purple. So, like I said, it's in total it's pretty band heavy, but most people have a few of every color laying around, so hopefully won't be too bad for you, but I mean, this thing is awesome, so it'll withstand some playing with and doing different things with it, so definitely will be worth it, I think. So the eyes and the cheeks we're going to actually make as we go along, so we're not going to worry about making those ahead of time. It is on one loom. We'll have the wrong end towards us, and it wasn't such a good idea putting them all up there. I need room to move my loom in the middle. There we go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start up kind of, I guess, the 4th pin up, and I'll have plenty of room throughout the rest of this to make it. So everything will be double banded. So we'll start with 2 bands. We'll go from the left all the way across to the right. And then right on top of that, with red again, to make an X. Then we'll go to the orange, and we'll do the same thing, left to right. And then right on top of that, right to left. And yellow, left to right, right to left. Green, left to right, and then right to left. Blue, same thing. We're just kind of laying the base for our pattern. And then when we get to here, where we have the blue, we're going to have the 2 purple. We're going to put cap bands on each of these pins in the purple. So 2 bands wrapped around one time, on the left pin and two bands on the right pin wrapped around one time. So here's the base for our rainbow. So we'll loom this out. We're going to start on the right side, which is the band underneath. You're going to go through the purple cap band, grab those blue bands, pull them up through, and pull them all the way back across the loom. Do the same thing on the other side, through the purple, grab those blue, pull them up, back across to the right, and then we'll just alternate all the way down the rest. So we'll start on the right side because it's on the bottom. Grab those green ones, pull them across, go the other side and get the other green ones. And yellow, starting on the right. Just keep doing that down the loom, starting with the bands that are on the bottom. So like that. Push those down. So now we're going to start with the transition bands. To make those, hopefully you kind of can make them on your hands. We've made them in other designs, but it's going to be a band of one color and a band of another color, and we're going to basically put them together so that they have the dividing color in the middle of each of the pins instead of all the way across like this. So when I make them on my fingers, I just put one on top of the other. In this case I'm going to grab the blue because that's underneath. Grab that blue and basically kind of folding it over that purple side. Now let's grab both purple bands until I've made a transition band. I'll show you again here. First one, blue and purple. We're going to start up here. So I have the purple next to the purple bands below and the blue next to the blue bands below. So our next colors are going to be blue and green. So again, I'm just going to put them on top of each other. And the green one's underneath, so I'll grab that one through, fold it around the blue one, grab the other side of the blue, and I'll put that on the loom the same way. So the dividing colors in the middle, blues are next to the blue and the greens are next to the green. If you have a hard time with this, you can do them on the loom itself. So our next colors will be green and yellow together. Just take a yellow band and a green band. Doesn't really matter if you put whichever one you put on top or bottom. I just put them down the loom like this. I'll go in through the top band, grab the bottom one, pull it up through, bring it back, and I'll go in through that little triangle spot there, grab that green band, and pull it back. And just be careful when you take it off the loom to hang on to it. And I have the same transition band that I made on my fingers. That's the same thing, making the dividing pieces in the middle. So we're just going to do that pattern kind of almost all the way around. On the ends where they have the red, they'll just be, the ends will always have two red, and when we put bands here, they'll always be two purple. So next one's yellow and orange. Make that transition band, and make sure you put them on the right way. So we're down here, it's just two red bands. Then we'll come back up the other side. So red and orange again. Next are orange and yellow. And yellow and green. So as you can see, it's definitely the just putting together of the transition bands that will take the longest. on this whole design. And then we are going to put 2 purple bands across this end. I started up here for a reason, so kind of get used to it. So I know it's kind of weird because usually I start at the other end, but it's all the same basically anyways. So that's our first row. We have the transition bands all the way around except for on the ends. We have just the 2, either purple or red. So then we'll go ahead and flip the bottom 4 bands. So you grab the bottom 4, pull them up over the top of the pin on all of the pins. And you know, if you have, like, I think it was down here, I flipped around the orange and the yellow. You just want to make sure that on your pin, like these are all blue, all green, all yellow. And if they don't, just do a quick flip it around to the way it has to be. Just that's in the center, the colors line up. Let's go all the way around and flip the bottom 4. Trying to explain a little bit more in the beginning so that kind of towards the end it'll be a little bit easier to, I won't be talking your ear off about all the steps and think of other things to talk about. Just like that. And then you push your bands down. So now we're going to do, I'm calling it a half row, but it's technically not a half row. Because we're going to go, starting at this pin up here on the top left, we're going to go all the way around and stop at this pin on the top right. So we're not going to put any purple bands here, but we're going to do the same transition bands all the way around. We're just not going to have anything across here for this row. So again, starting with the purple and the blue, and blue-green. Just keep making them. After you've made a bunch of these, they get much faster. I say as my fingers don't work correctly. And the 2 red across the bottom. Let me just go back up the other way. Jelly bands are definitely much more forgiving as far as the sliding of the colors. If there's any kind of readjusting we have to do when we get it all finished, if these bands kind of slide over while you're doing your looping. But I think the other one turned out well too. So, and last one for this row, like that. Nothing up here, but there's bands all the way around. So when we flip these, we're not going to flip the top 2 pins, we're just going to flip the pins down below. So don't flip here, but flip down the second pin down. All the way down towards you. And just go up the other side, but do not do the very top purple row. So just leave that one like it is. Push those down. We're going to do the exact same thing again. So purple and the blue right on top, and just go down or go around again. And when you get down here, it's the 2 red bands across the bottom, and go back up the other side. like so. So like that, and again we're going to go and we'll flip over the blue through the red, but we're not going to do anything with the purple. Still the bottom 4. Like that. So now if you want, you can take your hook, go in through here, and kind of loosen these up a little bit so they aren't, or so the rainbow will start growing up. Now we're going to do a row all the way around with the transition bands. So you can start up, either start up here or start here with the purple and blue. This row goes all the way around. And the red across the bottom. And just have the go up the other side and across the top. Like that, and then the 2 purple across the top. So we went all the way around this time. So we're going to flip all the pins this time. On the end where you have the purple, there are going to be 4 bands from the 2 rows we just did that'll have to go over, and then the 4 below that. So there's 8 bands that go over on the end on the purple, and then you'll still be left with 4. And the other ones are just still 4 to be flipped over the top. All the way around. And again, there'll be 8 on the end. I'm just going to keep unsticking it so it keeps growing up. Push your bands down. Alright, so now we're basically going to do the exact same thing all over again. So we're going to do the row where we start up here on the top left, go around, flip those, do another row just like that, flip those, and then a row all the way around. So it's a little repetitive right here, and then we'll start getting into the other things, or the kind of the more of the curve in the rainbow. So I'm just kind of giving you the heads up, because I know that was another thing people asked for when I was going to have long tutorials, is that if I just kind of told you what I was going to do, then you can be a little bit more prepared. We're starting up here at this top left pin and just going around to the top right. There won't be any purple bands on the end. I don't know if you can hear my husband coughing. He's sick now. It's like we just can't get rid of it in this house. I told him, I'm like, you need to stay away from me. I'm not getting sick again. Because that is no fun. Like, I have things to do. Of course, telling him that, and he was trying to chase me around the house. He's such a silly man. So like that, nothing across the end. All the other ones have bands. Then we won't flip the purple pins. We'll just flip the blue through the red. So we're going to do that again. We'll do the starting up here at the top left, going around to the top right, no bands across the purple. My oldest son is at a lock-in for the Boy Scouts. They left here like 7, and they'll be back, I think they said 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I sure hope they're dropping them off. That's what I was discussing, because I'm like, for one, I'm probably just about ready to be going to bed at that time, or hopefully be sleeping. And they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll drop them off. Like, that's good. The only thing about that is I feel bad for him because I guess he's technically old enough to stay home by himself. Maybe I'm a little overprotective mama, but we have plans to go to the Twin Cities tomorrow. So he's going to have to get up fairly early to come with us. I guess I shouldn't say that it's the overprotectiveness in me, it's more that I'd like him to be with us because we're doing family stuff. So again, it's that half row, nothing against the purple. We'll flip the blue through the red pins, not the purple ones. Besides, it never fails that if we decide, or if we let him stay home and we go somewhere, the store or whatever, you know, a lot of times we'll pick up things that the kids want while we're there, and if he's not there to ask for anything, then he might not get anything. So then he gets all kind of bummed out that he didn't get anything. I'm like, well, you gotta go with then. Just pulling this up. Alright, so this next row is going to be all the way around with the transition band, so we will have the purple across the top. Oh, but I'm sure he'll be fine once we all pile in the van and go. Hopefully. You know, I have to tell you, there's times when I was a kid, I just was like, you know, my mom doesn't understand me. She just doesn't get me. And she'd tell me I was being a cranky teenager or whatever, and whatever, it's still with me. Never really quite understood why she would say those things. Like, you just don't understand me. So I went all the way around, purple, red. So again, this time we're going to have 8 on the purple pins to flip and then 4 on the rest. But now that I'm older and have my own children, and one that's a teenager now, I definitely understand more the just kind of the thought processes. So that statement that my mom would make to me when I was a kid, I truly understand that now, and I can see the look on his face when he kind of, ugh, you don't know what it's like now. You're so old, and you can't see or relate to anything that I'm going through. It's kind of funny because it's like I could imagine the exact same thing that I would do to my parents. Alright, so we have those all flipped. So now we're going to start doing kind of more of the curving of the rainbow. So we're going to start up here and just come down and around like we did before, not putting anything across the purple. So the purple and the blue. Blue, green. So like that, all the way around, just nothing across the purple. And again, flip from the blue down to the red. 4 bands. Like that. Push the bands down. And as we go now, I always try to flip over whatever red one. So there's only one right here. Or it's 2 bands, but just so there's only either one or none in front of this pin, because that will help this to grow away from us like it should. So our next row, we're going to start at the blue and the green section. So you want those bands. So blue and green, and just start there. Come all the way around and stop at the blue-green on the right side. I see a cat here. One of these times I'll have to show you my kitty cats. You can understand why we have a lot of hair at times that we're cleaning up. Just the one, mainly. It's winter time, so we can't shave her. But when summer comes, Oh yeah. So stop at the green and the blue. So again, now when we flip, we're going to flip green through the red. We'll leave the blue and the purple pins alone. So green down to the red. And the other side. You can kind of see here how we have a little teardrop shape for the purple, and then there's one for the blue. We're basically going to do that all the way down. So next section, we're going to start at the green and the yellow. Come back around. And then the green and the yellow. So green and yellow starting and around. So now when we flip this time, we're going to leave the green alone and do the yellow through the red. 4 bands. Push those down. And then now we start at the yellow and the orange. And go around. Like that. So we'll flip the orange and the red, leaving the yellow alone. So I'm going to do this one more time between the orange and the red. Might just want the 2 red ones first. Like that. Then we'll just flip the red pins. Alright, so now if you look, you have the little teardrop shapes in between every pin here. That's what you want it to look like. Our next row is going to go all the way around with the transition, so the purple and the red everywhere. 2 purple. So like that, there's a row all the way around. So again, on the purple you'll have 8 to flip, and then the blue through the red will have the 4, or sorry, it's 6. Well, we're moving along. So 6 on the pins, except for the red, which will be 4. I'm always thinking in my head ahead, what I'm doing next, so sometimes I'm thinking of that, and that's what comes out of my mouth. Stay on the pin. Alright. That over, push the bands down. Okay, so this next row is going to be technically the cheek row. So you're going to want your band that you're going to use for your cheek. It's 1 band or 2 bands if you want to make them a little bigger. That's what they look like with 1. Put up the band on your hook, wrap it around 1 time into the figure 8. Grab both the bands, flip them around again. I'm just going to leave that on my hook for right now, so we have it for in a moment. So this row is the cheek row, but it is also a row where we're going to start up at the purple pin, go around, end the other purple pin, but there won't be anything across the top. So start making your transition bands. Turn this a little bit. So purple and blue, blue and green, and now where the green and yellow is where the cheek is going to go, but it's obviously needs to be on a transition band. So green and yellow, make my transition band. Just going to leave it on my finger, take my hook, stick it through, slide down my cheek, and then you want to center it as best you can. Like that. And that one, just put it on like you normally would the transition bands. Like that. Then you just go all the way around and stop at the purple pin with the transition bands. I know it's a little weird I put the face on the left side, but for some reason when I'm hooking the right side I don't have quite as nice seams between the colors than I do on the left side, so that's why it's over there. And purple. That cheek row right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll flip these. So it'll be blue through red. We won't be flipping the purple. Other side. that. So our next row is going to be where we put on the mouth and where we put on an eye. Like I said, I'm going to use the bigger 9mm pony beads this time. There it is with the 7mm. If you kind of like the smaller versus the bigger eye, I'd use like one wrapped band for this, which is the same way we made the cheeks. And if you want to have bigger eyes, like the 9mm ones, then I'd use 2 bands and just wrap them the same way. So it'd be kind of bulkier. So this row, we start at the blue pin, and we're going to go around back over to the blue and green pin. So first we'll put on the first blue and green. Then I'm going to take 2 bands that I want for the color of the mouth, and I'm going to put them right on top of that pin on the green one and just set them there. Then I'm going to do the green and the yellow band. Put that right on top. And then the mouth bands you'll flip over to the center. And they'll probably move wherever, but just so you don't hook them in or they fall down like that. So we'll go ahead, and this next spot is going to be where the eye goes. So it's a yellow and an orange. Make your transition band. And I'm going to see how this goes with just pushing them through. Probably not be able to. When you have the 9mm, you usually can push 2 bands through, but I don't think it's going to work without it falling apart. So you would probably want a piece of craft wire, string, thread, floss, anything you can get into the V shape. Once you've made your transition band, thread it onto your tool, close it up, and bring your bead down into the center. That. Pull out your tool, stretch it out, and go ahead and put it on the spot so the colors match up. And then we'll just do the transition bands around to the blue pin. That. So we're going to flip the green pins through the green bands through the red bands. Make sure with the mouth that it stays in the center when you're flipping, that it doesn't overlap onto the top of any of the pins. You just want it in the center. Tomorrow when we go to the Twin Cities, I'm not sure yet if we're going to the Mall of America. We usually end up there anyways, but with the 4 kiddos it could be quite the ordeal, but it's a pretty fun place. I like to go to Legoland or the Lego store, I guess it would be. Alright, push your bands down. Our next row is going to be starting at the green and the yellow, but we want to take the mouth band, or mouth of bands, and you're going to put them over the top of that green pin. So they're just going to up like this, slide it back. So that way when we put on our first bands here, the green and the yellow, put those right over the top, and you'll grab your mouth band and bring it back up into the center, like that. Then we will go all the way around to the green and the yellow pin on the other side. That. So now we're going to flip the yellow through the red bands. Just make sure your mouth band doesn't get stuck over the top of the pin there. Like that. So we'll just finish off this row here. So then we start with the yellow and the orange, and go around to the other side with the yellow and the orange. To red. Like that. So we'll flip the orange and the red this time. Push those down, and then the orange and red to finish off this row here, or section, in my mind anyways. You're probably more like, when is she gonna be done? My gosh. And all I can say is that it'll be done when it's awesome. Like that. Then we'll just flip the red. Push your bands down. So now we're going to do a row that goes all the way around. So bands up here on the top with the purple, and then just transition bands all the way around. Again, you want to take your mouth band, and we'll put it over the top of this pin when we get there. So we'll start first with the blue and the purple, or purple and blue. Then you'll want to do the, not those, blue and green. Then once you get to the blue and green on there, go ahead and take your mouth bands, flip them back, and do your green and yellow. Like that. Then flip your mouth band back towards the center. And then just go all the way around the rest and stop at the beginning where we started. Kind of funny when we do go to the cities. A lot of times there's so many suburbs around, of course, because it's a very large area, but there are like 3 Michael's stores that are kind of on the way to a store we almost always go to. So it's kind of like a given that hubby's going to pull in the parking lot, and we'll have to, I usually run in and see what they have real quick. One of those patient husband who sits in the car. I usually take one of the kiddos in with me. My 3-year-old, he loves going in. It's like he knows. And most times it's like he'll grab a basket and he'll walk over to where the rainbow loom stuff is and he'll just start throwing bags into the basket. I'm like, hold on buddy, we gotta see what we're getting here. But it's good for him because he learns his colors, and I can always just say, well, he threw them in there, so I mean, I just figured I'd get them. Let me go back out with my Uber receipt. So like that, we went all the way around. So again, it'll be 6 bands to flip on all the pins except for the red, which would be 4. And then again, make sure you don't get the mouth band trapped over the top of a pin. You want it to be in the center. And the other side. That. Push the bands down. So now we're going to do a row where we start at the purple, go all the way around, and end at the purple. So there won't be a double purple up across the end. We're getting there. For some reason it seems to go faster to me when we do this kind of middle section part. It's kind of, I don't know, it's because we flip more bands more often or what. So when we get to here, again, take your mouth band, put it up over the pin, lay down your yellow and green one, like that, and then flip the mouth band back towards the center, and then continue around. I was going to make this without putting the smiley face on it, on my happy face, because I seriously do think that it's just awesome without it. But I know that a lot of you enjoy having the smiley faces on everything that I put out, so I figured I would figure out how to get it on there in a fairly simple way, and in a good position, which is not the easiest, I might add, because the banding isn't exactly perfect, I guess, to accommodate the face in a perfect spot. But I think I did pretty well. It's a little bit different with the face too because of the position and how we're how this is growing up, but I think it's adorable. Like that. So you have the mouth band up over, there's no purple bands across the end, you have the transition bands around the rest. So this row we're going to flip the blue through the red bands. Like so. So this row is going to be a eye row. So we're going to start with between the blue and the green, and we go around, and as we do we'll fix the mouth band and then add in the eye as well. So blue and green on here first. Move the mouth band back, and then you're going to want the green and yellow. Go on your pin. Green and yellow, flip the mouth band back over to the center. And then for the yellow and the orange, that's where we're going to have the other eye. So again, the transition band. Just going to put on my finger, grab my tool, thread it through, grab my bead, and then thread this down through the center. Go ahead and put that on in the next spot. Like so. Then we'll go ahead and finish off this row by going around and stopping at the blue and the green spot over here. I will say that taking my two youngest ones into Michael's, though, I've kind of started a bad thing with them where I really love the, I can't remember the name of them now, but they're the stuffed animals that have the really big kind of kawaii or plastic looking eyes or glass eye looking things. I love those things. They're so adorable, and my kids love them as well. So I started, and I bought them like a couple little ones, and you know, they thought they were great, and like I think I bought a cat and a unicorn or something is what they wanted. And now it's like every time we go there, they see those and they have to, it's like they just remember that one time I let them go through and kind of pick out which ones they want. Now they can't go by without them doing it. So then once we have to here, we'll flip the green through the red, leaving the blue and the purple alone. And for me, because I like them, it's hard for me to say no. It's bad parenting, but they're so cute. So now they have an owl, a cat, a monkey, penguins, and they might have some of the really large ones. They might. I mean, I'm not going to admit that they do, but they might. So our next spot that we're starting is the green and the yellow. This is going to be a cheek spot that we're starting. So you want that cheek band, whatever color your other cheek is, or you want this cheek to be, on the hook, wrap it around, figure 8, both bands, back on the hook. Then you want to take the green and the yellow band, make your transition band, and then pull your cheek band onto the transition band. I really need to talk to Rainbow Loom about making me specialty bands. That'd be awesome. Be like, I need half this color and half that color. I know there's some already, but they're not quite what I need. And you will notice this time that I did not move the mouth bands. We're done with using those. So I just went right on top. So we'll finish around to the other side with the green. Looks like this will probably be the longest tutorial I've ever had by the time I'm done. So like this, so we'll flip the yellow through the red. So we've left alone the purple, blue, and green. Guess I should get it flipped on the other side. So now we'll do the yellow, start the yellow and the orange. We're getting there. More than halfway down. For sure, when you're done making this, you will be a pro with the transition bands. Like that. Flip the orange and the red pins. And seriously, this thing is so cute. It's so worth it. And then lastly, start at the orange and the red. Like that. Flip the red. Like so. So now we'll do a row that is all the way around, including underneath we'll have the purple that go across. It's just hard with transition bands because you can't really make them ahead of time. Almost around. Too purple. So like that. So we'll go ahead and flip over the 6 bands on all the pins except for the red, which will have 4. Like that. Oh yes, I think I like the larger eyes much better. Push your bands down. So we're going to do one more, kind of the tight turning that we do where we start at the purple and go around, and then we start again at the blue, green, go around, and then reduce as we come around until we finally can do a full row. So we're going to do that next. So starting at the purple and the blue, this will be the last kind of big turn, and then it's the few more rows to even out the other side. So we're getting there, and like I said, I think for me, I don't know why, but it seems like these middle kind of transition or big turning rows seem to go faster than the ones where I just add like one more band. Which is weird. I'm weird. Which is awesome, because there's nothing wrong with being weird. Speaking of weird, we taught my 3-year-old to make faces. Like, we tell him handsome, and he put his hands on the sides of his cheeks and then kind of run his hands down and kind of this cute little pose, or we take like Hulk face, and he'd kind of take his arms and put them up and get all big, and so like that. We don't have anything up to here at the top where the purple is, just all the way around. So we're going to flip the blue through the red pins. It'll kind of squint his eyes, and that'll be his Hulk face, and he does zombie, silly face, scary face. We're teaching him fish face, but he's still trying to figure out how to pucker his lips better. So that's taking a little bit. But my daughter, she seems to have no problem. She's almost 2. Making the kissy face. So we taught her to pucker out her lips when we say duck face, which reminds me of how a lot of the selfies that people take are, you pout your lips out and kind of the duck face. So once you have that, then we'll start at the blue and the green and go around and stop the blue and green on the right side. But she's adorable. She gets her lips way out there, and it's super cute. She loves it because then she smiles afterwards, and she's just like, she likes, I guess, being able to mimic for us. I guess I should say that she doesn't always respond to duck face, she responds to kissy face. But it's funny because then my 3-year-old will always be like, eyelet, eyelet, do kissy face, kissy face. And so like he's constantly asking her to do that, and of course she has to oblige, and I'm just like, your mouth has got to be so sore by the time he's done telling you over and over again to do that. You're so cute. They're so close in age that they play pretty well together. But it's weird though, because it makes my 3-year-old seem younger than he is, and it makes my 1-year-old seem older than she is. Crazy kids. So like that. So we'll flip the green through the red, leaving the blue and the purple alone. I'm not gonna lie. When I have taken selfies, which it has been a while, like guess I should say. You might have seen a duck face or the selfie face, but oh well, it's with the times. So now we'll start between the green and the yellow. And we'll go around the other side and stop at the green and the yellow. Like that. So flip the yellow through the red. Like that. Face. Now between the yellow and the orange is where you'll start. Like that. Flip the orange and the red. And lastly for this section, starting at the orange and the red. The chair's being very squeaky. Maybe that's my table. Like that. Flip the red. Push bands down. Now we'll do that row all the way around. And then after we get this one on, it's basically just kind of evening up the sides that we're doing. So the two legs are the same width, or length, not width. Length. It should be the same length, or width. Yeah. Stop talking! So, I feel like I might be a little bit goofy right now just because I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and I probably didn't have much the night before like usual. And normally I can get in my little nap during the day, but today I decided not to take one for whatever silly reason, and so I'm kind of a little sleep deprived, maybe a little silly. Hopefully not. Of course, that's usually more entertaining. Like I said, this row is all the way around. So again, the 6 bands on all the pins except for the red where you'll have 4. You want to flip those over. that. Okay, so the next rows, we're going to do 2 rows where we start at the purple, the blue, and go around. So we'll do that one time, and then we'll do it a second time, and then you'll do a row all the way around, and then you'll repeat that process again, and then should be ready to close. So starting at the purple and the blue, we'll go around to the other side. Like I said, I think it's this portion that seems to take longer than even the middle portions, so. So you want to stop there, nothing across the end. So we'll flip the blue through the red, leaving the purple alone. That. Push your bands down. Do another row just like that on top. Uh-oh, my fingers haven't stopped working. We're not done yet. So I hope you guys aren't too bored yet watching me while you make yours. But seriously, it's awesome. Awesome. Or as my little man says, awesome! So again, we'll flip the blue through the red pins, leaving the purple alone. Like that. Push your bands down. Now we'll do a row all the way around. hope I don't run out of memory. That would be bad. Do the purple across the top. Like that. So we flip 8 bands on the end and then 4 bands on the rest. Push your bands down. So now we're going to repeat for the last time what we just did. We're going to start up at the purple and blue, go all the way around, and then start up at the purple and blue, go all the way around, and then finally we'll go all the way around the entire thing, and then we'll be able to close. So that's a heads up of what's coming. So probably another 10 or 15 minutes, I guess, maybe. I haven't been paying attention to how long it takes to do the rows, but doesn't seem to take longer though when we do these fuller ones. But it's worth it. Couple weekends from now. It's kind of exciting because my brother is finally getting married. We're hoping to make the trip out there. They live in California, so there's that first row. Remember, there's nothing at the no double purple bands on the end, so we'll flip the blue through the red. So it turns out I didn't have to worry about the memory so much as my battery, which apparently died on me. That's always fun. Just unless I'm looking right at my camera all the time. I don't really know that it's stopped. So sometimes I have to back up and go back and so you guys see the whole thing. But I think we're all good, hopefully. So you flip the bottom 4 on all except for the purple. Then we're going to do another row, just like we just did, starting at the purple and the blue, going around and stopping at the purple and blue on this side. We are definitely in the home stretch of this design. trying to think of what else I can talk about, bore you about, make you giggle. I do know that next weekend and into the following week I'm doing something kind of exciting. I can't tell you what it is yet, but I am super stoked about it, and I'm definitely going to be sharing it with you when I get back, so it does involve going somewhere. It's very cool. I'm actually kind of nervous about it too. It keeps getting closer and closer. So like that, no bands across the top. Again, we'll flip the blue through the red pins on both sides. It involves taking a flight somewhere, which I haven't had to fly for quite some time. I'm not so much nervous about flying as more just not being in the right place at the right time and losing my luggage or something awful like that. But hopefully none of those things happen, and it is a fantastic thing. Like that. Now we're going to do one last row, and we're going to go all the way around, including the two purple bands at the top. So then we are ready to close, and we'll be done with this awesome rainbow. Trying to think of what else I can tell you about my little trip that wouldn't give away too much. It's going to involve toys. I'm excited about where I'm staying though. Only because I like the hotel. I have to make sure I'm getting the right room though. So nerve-wracking. And the last one across the top. So we went all the way around that time. So we'll have 8 bands on the purple and then 4 on the rest to flip. Not a good sign. Start having problems at the end. Alright. So that is the happy rainbow. Now we are ready to close, and we're going to do that by braiding down. We've done this before with other designs, just a little bit more, I think, than normal to do. But get started. I'm just going to kind of bend the rainbow out of my way. And I'm going to start on the right side, put my hook through the bands, take them off the pin, go over to the left, get those on my hook, then I'm going to pull the left bands through the right bands, and just take your time, Make sure you get through all 4 of them, and that you still have 4 on your hook when you're done. Now we'll go back through to the right side. And usually when I do the kind of the right side, or as I start to go down more for closing it, I'll kind of just, instead of pulling them all the way off the pin, I'll just try and pull them through before I even take them off the pin, so that in case I drop something or the band falls off my hook or something, hopefully it won't all go away. And I think because I'm right-handed, it only really works on the right side. I can kind of get right up in there. We just alternate between going left to right. Just keep pushing the rainbow back out of your way. Be careful as you get closer down to the beginning, because then the bands, they will kind of think about popping off, especially kind of these last 4. So just take your time, go slow. Make sure I'm applying pressure down into my loom with the pushing on the rainbow, so that it doesn't kind of have the ability to pop up more as I'm pulling. And the last ones here. So I'm going to pull the red through on the right, and then I'll just go over to the left, grab those, and I'll leave it on, all of them on my hook like that. Then I'm going to take 2 bands, pull them through everything on my hook, both ends back on, and then I'm going to make a slip knot. Pull it as tight as you can. If you use the jelly bands, definitely want to pull tight, because they will come undone. So we'll want to hide our tail, so I'm going to come up through the back side usually. Come up right next to where the tail is. Grab those bands, if they'll let me, and pull them down in. I have a lot more than what I should. You grab something else. I'm just going to keep pulling them tight until the little knot disappears into the bottom there. Thanks. Sorry, hopefully I wasn't off camera too long there. Just keep pulling tight, and then once I have it tight, they'll either pop back in, or I might have to tuck them back in. So you can kind of give them some stretching. Much better with the bigger eyes. Make your mouth as smiley as you want. Oh yeah, love it. You might have a few of these where, like right here, it's a little off just from the, like maybe I didn't have it quite centered. So I just take my hook in there, and I'll just pull it tight. I grab the right bands. Pull it tight, line things back up. It doesn't take a whole lot. Hopefully you don't have too many that are off from where they need to be. Backside looks pretty good. Might be a few up here that I could change position, but for one, it's the backside, so I don't need to worry about it a whole lot. I'm just going to pull the red down a little bit, then I'll pull the orange down in, just to even that up so the dividing line is a little bit closer. But love it. Oh yeah, much better with the bigger eyes, I think, this time. Oh, I hope you love it. I know it was a long tutorial. Definitely a lot of steps for you guys to do, but as I've said many times, I think it's awesome, adorable, and perfect I love this. I mean, it seems like it's something so simple, and it really is. It's just a lot of repetition, but it turns out super cute, sturdy, squishy. Love it, love it, love it. And if you love it, it would be awesome if you would give this video a big thumbs up. There's a lot of work that went into it, and you put a lot of work into it, and letting me know that you like it would be awesome. So yay! And then of course, show me these guys on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic, or on my Facebook, which is feelinspiffy or Crafting Fantastic. They both should find me. And then of course, it would be fantastic if you'd subscribe to my channel so you know when I come out with new things. Generally my tutorials are not this long, so these are kind of the rare ones that are super, super long, although my tutorials are usually, they are not 5 or 6 minutes, that's for sure, but I always have all the details, and so you know how to make them without having any questions or be like, what am I supposed to do here? So, hopefully you enjoyed it. I love it, and share them with me, of course. Thanks you guys for, everything, for helping me to grow my channel and sharing my designs and sharing them with me, and it's just fabulous. I'm very humbled by you guys. It's awesome. But thank you so much, and I hope you love these, because I do, and I will have more for you soon. So happy looming.